If you've ever been told hormone replacement therapy is risky or even dangerous, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Most of that's fear-based on outdated research, and it's time to set the record straight. In this video, I'm going to break down the real research and the story behind HRT, what the research actually shows, and what most doctors are still getting wrong, and how the right lab testing can change your entire experience of menopause. First, let's start by the big myth that HRT causes cancer, blood clots, or heart attacks. This fear largely stems from the Women's Health Initiative, a study that was done in 2002 that caused widespread panic. Here's the problem. That study used synthetic hormones, including Premarin from horse urine and Provera, a synthetic progestin, which do not act the same way in the body as bioidentical hormones. It also studied women who were well past menopause, with many starting the HRT in their 60s and 70s, well after hormone decline began. And that timing matters a lot. More recently, high-quality studies show using bioidentical HRT, which we'll talk about later, starting around the time of perimenopause or early menopause, can reduce the risk of chronic disease and dramatically improve quality of life. When used properly, HRT can improve your sleep, mood, and mental clarity. It can restore your libido and vaginal health. It can strengthen your bones and protect you against osteoporosis. It can support metabolic health, blood sugar, and even heart function. But just remember, HRT alone is not a magic pill. Your body's a system. So when people go to other practitioners, even functional medicine practitioners, and they say they just had pellets or, they're just prescribed hormones and nothing else, there's a big root of that. They might immediately feel better because they're getting some change from their standard lifestyle, but it's still not addressing the underlying symptoms. And I've seen negative consequences happen when people do just get thrown hormones and it's not done with the whole system in mind. So first, I recommend functional lab testing. Understand your baseline hormones, your full thyroid panel, your adrenals, your sex hormones, and your nutrient status. Most women are never offered comprehensive lab testing during perimenopause or menopause. But understanding your landscape is the foundation of a successful hormone support. So here's what I look for in my practice. The sex hormones: estradiol, progesterone, testosterone, and DHEA, because symptoms don't always match assumptions. A woman with fatigue and anxiety may be low in progesterone and have estrogen dominance. Or a woman can have these same symptoms and just have flatline, no hormones, and need all support. A thyroid, we're checking of TSH, a free T3, a free T4, a reverse T3, and thyroid antibodies. Hypothyroidism can often mimic menopause. Fatigue, brain fog, weight gain are frequently missed. We also look at your adrenals, your inflammation markers, vitamin D levels, a full iron panel, and more. So when we use bioidentical hormones like micronized progesterone and estradiol, they're not synthetic. Not all hormones are created equal. Bioidentical hormones are molecularly identical to those that your body produces. This allows safer, more predictable outcomes with fewer side effects. So the examples I often use in my practice: micronized progesterone, like a prometrium or compounded cream. It supports your sleep, it calms your nervous system, and balances estrogen. Sometimes we use estradiol. We typically use it via cream. We have Select Balance progesterone cream and Select Balance estrogen available to purchase, but we use estradiol, and there's patches as well as lozenges that can be used. I always ask women if they have vaginal dryness or painful sex, because that can require some estrogen in that specific area. So they'll do like a vaginal suppository to help put estrogen in that specific area. I'm always looking at estrogen. Having that support can help reduce hot flashes, decrease the vaginal dryness, mood swings, and protect bones. And also, the testing is so important because if your estrogen is actually optimized, I don't want to give you more estrogen. I always try to balance estrogen with progesterone So that will decrease risk for cancers, because typically when I see a breast cancer or other type of female organ cancers, it's usually estrogen not being detoxed properly out of the body, and the quote unquote bad estrogen is getting recycled and used and causing havoc in our cells, which is creating abnormal cells in cancer. So I always am balancing that so that we're not at risk for increased risk of cancer with hormone treatment. But again, testing hormone levels is so important to make sure. I'll tell you a story after I talk about testosterone. In some cases, for men and women, carefully dosed in cream or injection, it can improve libido, energy, and muscle tone. I'm personally not a fan of pellets. It's just my hot take. I like the ability of cream or injection where it's a shorter half-life so that we can adjust it in live time as needed. I have a patient that I work with functional oncology that a male, he was getting testosterone injections from a place, and they were testing hormones every so often, like, they had to mark the boxes every so often. But what they didn't mention was that his estrogen was also converting high. So testosterone can convert into estrogen. So for him, being a man, his estrogen kept getting higher, and he didn't know this. Well, he ended up developing breast cancer from it. So there are more cases of male breast cancer because we're not properly looking at hormone balance. So balancing hormones with a bioidentical hormone can be life-saving for so many women and men, but we want to make sure that we're doing it in a really smart way. So make sure the provider that you're using is knowledgeable in this, and they're not just throwing hormones at you and nothing else, okay? Remember, unlike synthetic options like your Premarin or Provera that I talked about earlier, the bioidentical hormones work with your body, not against them. And they're metabolized more safely when paired with proper detox support. So we want to look at supporting detox and liver pathways so our hormones are processed safely and effectively. Our body doesn't just use hormones, it processes them and eliminates them through our liver and our gut. Did you know this? So if your detox is sluggish, hormones can recirculate, creating symptoms like bloating, breast tenderness, mood swings, and weight gain. So to support safe hormone metabolism, cruciferous veggies like broccoli, kale, cauliflower help upregulate detox enzymes. I often pair, anytime I'm doing like hormone supplementation for a longer period of time, I'll pair it with something like estrogen support. It's tablets that we have at Select Balance. They contain dim green tea and other support that helps liver detox the hormones. I like using liver support like dandelion root tea. That can also help with a fluid or water weight. Select Balance Milk Thistle Plus has some really great liver-loving herbs in it. And comprehensive multivitamins like the Multivitamin Plus. It contains nutrients like B6, B12, folate, magnesium, choline to help as well. And then lastly, like binders. If you're doing things that are pushing out a lot of toxins, using a binder can help pull out excess estrogen from the gut so it doesn't get reabsorbed as well. So sweating and hydration, I talk about them all of the time. Your skin and kidneys are the key elimination organs, so keep them moving. Supporting detox is what makes HRT safe and effective long term. Otherwise, you're just recycling the hormone chaos. So as I mentioned, if you're going to someone and they're just prescribing hormones and they're not looking at any other part of your body, go to someone that will actually do that, because that's the safest, most effective way to do it. And then let's talk about lifestyle foundations. No supplement or hormone can override a poor foundation, right? The 4 pillars I reinforce with every one of my clients is 1, anti-inflammatory nutrition. So remove the common triggers like gluten, dairy, and sugar and alcohol. Do that for at least 12 weeks. Focus on protein, fiber, healthy fats, colorful veggies. Food is a hormone foundation. Movement heals. So daily walking, strength training, and stretching can really help support insulin sensitivity, bone health, and mood, which helps your hormones. Don't overdo cardio, especially if your adrenals are taxed. I always tell my women that are working with me, stop doing the cardio, work on for the next 12 weeks, really building your muscle. Because as my good friend Tina Moore says, building muscles saves lives, and it's just a great motto to have. Stress reduction. So chronic stress shuts down progesterone and spikes cortisol. So a lot of times we compartmentalize our emotional issues and don't think they affect us physically. But there are so many physical reactions that are happening when we are stressed out. So as I mentioned, Progesterone gets shut down, which is our calming relaxation hormone, and it spikes cortisol. So our hormones go out of whack. And again, I see so many women with progesterone deficiency, and stress is one of those causes. So breath work, journaling, prayer, meditation, nature, grounding, whatever you do to help decrease your stress, they're not optional. They're truly hormone therapy. So don't forget that. And then sleep hygiene. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep. Progesterone helps here, but also magnesium, glycinate, I love using at bedtime, a dark room, stable blood sugar, and shutting off screens early at night can really help get you a restful night's sleep. Hormone health is a lifestyle, not a prescription. When you combine the two, that's where the true magic happens. Most conventional providers still don't test for hormone imbalances. You are just told you're getting older or your HRT is too risky, but that's simply not true, especially when done right. So many of my clients come to me feeling exhausted, anxious, forgetful, disconnected from their bodies. Have you ever felt that way? I think I've checked all of those boxes. Within weeks of getting right labs and tailored bioidentical support, they feel themselves again, often better than they have in years. And I would tell this story of a woman that I took care of right away when I started doing integrative medicine. And she came to me and she was in her late 50s and she was having debilitating night sweats for over 10 years where she couldn't sleep a whole night through. And she was getting to the point of being suicidal because she wasn't sleeping, right? Hormones affect every single layer of our body. So I looked at her labs, supported her whole system. Within a couple weeks, her whole body changed and she couldn't believe the difference. And I was like, gosh, this was so simple to do. I need to be supporting all women that have this issue. It's so simple. So anyways, that's what got me on this road of helping other women heal their hormones. And, just because you're in menopause doesn't mean you have to lose your identity or vitality. You deserve the right to feel good in your body. Don't forget that. Keep searching for answers. Remember, your health is so important. If you're ever concerned about, I can't go see a functional medicine provider because of the cost. Well, look at the cost and then look at the potential future if you're not getting treated and what you're missing out on, not just in potential ill health in the future, but in your current life and how good you could be feeling. Time is money. Time spent with your kids running around or your grandkids, it's worth something. It's worth an investment. So please make that investment for yourself because you deserve it. The bottom line here, you deserve evidence-based, personalized protocols, not fear-based protocols from 20 years ago. If you want to explore HRT in a safe, empowered way, reach out. You can look at the Harmony Within program that I do. You can go to www.thehealthypractitioner.com. We go through lab testing, supplement plans, and a personalized recorded approach for you. Doing it step by step so that you have a 12-week plan that you're confident with and you can really make some big changes. Like and share this video if you're ready to make changes and a conversation around menopause. And please subscribe for more tools to help you thrive at every age. Until next time.